Welcome to the channel, Jaden Chase. Now, after being apprehended, captured, and arrested by police, Rushane and his lawyers are making it seem as if it was always Rushane's intention to turn himself into law enforcement. But some are saying that this cannot be so. After weeks of being asked by law enforcement to turn himself in, at that point he was not even wanted for the murder of Slickianna. He was just a person of interest. Now, after refusing to cooperate with law enforcement, he then tried to trick both law enforcement and the public that he was off the island, while still hiding out in the very same parish of Anova. I'm going to see how them are going to show him no mercy. The only way leniency can be shown in a situation like this is if Rushane plead guilty and decides to him now go bother waste any more of the state's time. Because after wasting countless policeman hours, if him decide to take this to a trial, and law enforcement has no other suspect, they are not following the evidence that was presented by Rushane over social media. They are saying that this is smoke and mirrors. Lies being told by a guilty man to throw them off of his trail, which law enforcement stated that they never believed that, as there was never any evidence to suggest that he was off the island. Then if him being off the island is a major lie, then Slickianna receiving phone calls while they were at this restaurant is also being looked at as a lie. This other individual he claims she came to Mobile to meet up with could also be a lie. Or am I going to explain the fingernails in the car? Or am I going to explain Slickianna's nails being in the car? Remember, after a female puts on false fingernails, I only break, them are going to break off. Unless I clip on nails. What them should also be checking for is if there's DNA in those fingernails. Because if them break off our finger, some struggle might have taken place in that vehicle. Talk to me in the comment section. Tell me how you feel. Is Rushane's actions that of somebody who was innocent and feared for their lives? Or that of somebody who was guilty and was trying to cover up the action? Based on public opinion alone, it seems as if Jamaica believes that Rushane is indeed guilty just based on his actions. Not what law enforcement say, not what people in the media say, but based on his actions, the things that make him choose to do, like choosing to hide out at a guest house, putting his family through this media fiasco, having the victim's family worry if they will ever get any answers to this senseless crime that took place against Anika Slickianna Townsend. It's also been reported that Rushane was not only involved in the situation that took place a couple of years ago, the assault on a female, but that currently is involved in the dialing game. It has been rumored that he's an individual on Mocha's list. We don't know. This does make it seem as if he have some type of criminal history. But as soon as law enforcement updates us, and if he confess to the crime, seeking leniency from the state, we're going to make it know. Some have already pointed out that the options are few. Him not have nothing else so him can do right now. Him can't tell law enforcement nothing or make up no excuses. The senseless crime and violence that take place on the island need to stop. And we are talking about crime and violence against man, woman, and picnic. But I feel like we have to stop the violence against women alone. Stop the violence against the man them too. Stop the violence against our youth. We're the future of the generation to come. The people them are the youth them where are youth now will be the fathers of the generation we are going forward up. We have to show them what is right. On to the other stories making headlines today. Now, also making headlines today, the man charged and accused for the murder of East Portland MP Linval Bloomfield, who is Simon Sutherland, has absconded his bail, leaving his mother behind the bars as she was the one who stood the bond for his bail. Now, Sutherland was on no-show in court when his name was called and a bench warrant was issued for his arrest. His mother stood as a surety and is now behind the bars. She used to pay the bail bond of $800,000. As soon as she can pay that, she'll be released. I'm going to hear what I want to continue reason. Look and listen.
An investigation has been launched to ascertain the circumstances under which Sutherland failed to appear in court It is also to be determined if anyone attempted to pervert the course of justice. Sutherland's attorney, King's Counsel Peter Champagny, noted that his client, along with his parents, were at his office just hours before the matter started. Sutherland's mother said they dropped him off at the entrance of the courthouse. They noticed that he didn't go in the direction of the courthouse, but instead walked away. She said they drove him down and attempted to talk to him, but he didn't stop. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn asked the police to formally call Sutherland's name in the hall 3 times, but no answer came. Sutherland last appeared physically in court last week Monday. He was granted bail at the parish court level on 6 conditions. He is to report to the police station daily, surrender his travel documents, and a stop order is in place against him. He has a daily curfew order between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. and is not to be seen in the parish of Portland. The DPP says the situation is unfortunate. She explains why he was not taken into custody last Monday.
Usually, most of the judges, when the trial commences, then that bail is revoked. Usually, if somebody has been honoring his conditions and attending court, unless something arises on the face of it to alert the judge or alert the prosecution or even the defense that something may be amiss, the matter would be rolled for another day if it couldn't start on the Monday, and we would start the case. And very often on that occasion, after the commencement of the case, the judge would then take the person into custody.
Attorney Champagny, who was evidently irritated by his action, says he's beyond surprised that his client was a no-show.
Barring any excuse, reasonable excuse for the absence of Mr. Sutherland, I would not want the message to be received that it is okay for you to have access to legal representation in the form of myself and Ms. Campbell, and it is okay to take leave of the process and re-engage at a subsequent occasion forcefully and believe that you can have access to representation. It doesn't work like that. We are a part of the justice system. It ought to be respected.
He points out that absconding bail does no good for the justice system.
So when you have something like this, the question is always going to arise, should I, in the mind of a judge, extend a person's bail in these circumstances? To date, at this moment in time, there is no reasonable explanation that has come forward.
Champagny has noted that he doesn't intend to continue representing Sutherland. When asked if his client was set to plead guilty this morning, Champagny refused to comment, but said this.
Of course, we'd appreciate that if he's brought back, you don't want a situation where there's prejudice, where the members of the public were sensitized to a particular course of action. So that is a comment or a question rather that I would not want to answer at this point in time.
Dr. Bloomfield, who was stabbed 28 times, was found dead at his Pasley Gardens home in Portland on February 2, 2019. Sutherland was arrested by the police after forensic evidence reportedly linked him to the scene of the crime. He is charged with murder and misprision of felony.
Now, there were different type of rumors as to why the individual took the life of Mr. Bloomfield. We're not getting into that reasoning right now. All we can state that is he's now a fugitive of the law. So whether or not his side of the story was that he might defend himself or him innocent, that is now besides the point, as Sutherland has chosen to abscond his bail, knowing say I'm mother, I gotta be held responsible if him not show up for court. Man can wicked so against them own parent. Somebody who after seen you involved in a criminal case and them offer you bail and decide say, alright, she gonna stand as surety. So you gotta show up for your court case. And you tell me say when your name called for court, you were not there. Knowing say you gotta put your mother in a trouble. Now for those who don't know the case, Mr. Bloomfield was stabbed to death. Now, Mr. Champagny, who represents Sutherland, said he was beyond irritated by his client's action. He's also beyond surprised that his client was a no-show. He also pointed out that this makes it worse. The fact that him jump bail. It's him for hold on upon him and him for face trial again. People are going to look upon it as this. This is the individual who was accused of taking the life of Bloomfield. After getting bail, this is the same individual who then run from standing justice. Basically, his attorneys that say, Mr. Champagne point out that him feel like as if this will make the jury, any jury at all, find him guilty based on these very same actions. Talk to me, tell me if you agree. As I said, the same type of situation with Rushane Patterson. Based on his actions, any jury at all will look into that situation. They're going to say, boy, this individual was last seen with Slickianna. When law enforcement tell him to come in, him decides him not turning himself and try to trick the public and law enforcement that he was all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. Him then try to put out information, misinformation, to try to send law enforcement on a wild goose chase, waste tax dollars, waste manpower hours. They might prejudice the case against their own selves. Talk to me in the comment section. Now until the reason again, live, love and prosper. And of course, stay tuned. Drop a like on the video, a comment in the comment section. Click the subscribe icon and put it on all. That is how you will be notified of all the fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platforms. Until the reason again, as stated, live, love and prosper. And of course, stay tuned.